a 49er rush. Niners all day. Let's bring 6 home, baby. Let's go.
I love it, man.
It's time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It is absolutely incredible to be with you guys today. Now, we've got a little bit of extra information today as the 49ers kind of brought out their traditional Wednesday press conference. And this is now we're into the, I guess, habit and schedule of the regular season, which is awesome because all the smokescreen stuff, everything that's been going on, all the conjecture, I think this is going to happen, this is going to happen. We've seen a lot of that, across podcasts, YouTubers, beat writers, national media guys, whatever. We're in the thick of it. This is the time. And whenever you go into this Wednesday press conference, we got some clips for you today. We're going to be talking about practice reports, who practiced, who didn't, what that means. We've got another guy going on IR, what that looks like. But more importantly, you start to get a little bit of a feel for what you're heading into. And for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, this isn't their first rodeo by any stretch. This is, it's prime the pump time. Now, you don't go out in week 1 and win a Super Bowl. You don't do that at all. That's not what it is. But what you do is you start to refine your craft and you start to live into who you are going to be. Whether the 49ers go out there and win week 1 or lose week 1, God forbid, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, but any given Sunday in the NFL, it tells a story about who you are. Now, how are the 49ers going to respond and come out and, again, we didn't even have an offseason last year. There wasn't a preseason, there was a minicamp, there was jack squat. Now, this has probably been the most, reported, overemphasized, looking at all the crannies and all that kind of stuff, because we got new toys. We got Trey Lance. We traded up one of the largest trades in the 49ers history. And now we finally get to see exactly what that's going to look like. But there's a little bit of a hiccup because Trey Lance fractured his finger. Good news is, we'll talk about this one right now, Trey Lance is back to throwing a football regularly, no issues there, and all those things. I do want to say shout out to Rolls Royce and the entire Countdown crew, #CC, what's up? He says Chapman equals best in the business. I appreciate that, my friend. There's a lot of really good podcasters out there. One of my favorite things is you got to find your niche. There's a lot of negative ones. There's positive ones. There's Jimmy lovers. There's Jimmy haters. You got to figure that out. But, I even tell my students this all the time. Don't just go to a place where, and again, I teach government and U.S. history and economics and things like this, right? So, I tell them, if you go to an entertainment news source, don't expect facts. I don't care what side you're on. Their job's entertainment and to sell things. You have to find your source, and you got to realize what it is they're selling. What are we selling here at the 49ers Rush Podcast? I would plan on doing this. We're selling community. We're selling faithful. That's what we are. I'm the biggest Trey Lance guy that there ever was. You can go back through my pinned tweet. I'm still probably, I said we were going to pick Trey Lance. I'm very, very high on Trey Lance. Having said all those things, I don't think Trey Lance should be starting week 1, and he's not. And Kyle Shanahan came out today, and we're gonna talk about this, and literally said, I'm not going to talk about this, whatever else. But when Jimmy G came out, we got something a little bit different. Here's the first question, the first kind of clip I want to go to. They asked him again, across the NFL, every starting quarterback is the first to go in the press conference. There's not one team that doesn't do this. And of course, Jimmy Garoppolo went first and named team captain, by the way. And the question was posed this: when did you know you were starting, Jimmy? And here's what he had to say.
That you would be the starting quarterback. For a while. I told you guys a long time ago I had a pretty good feeling about it. Kind of joked about it. But yeah, I always kind of knew where I stood and everything. And now it's official, I guess.
Now it's official, right? So we can put this behind us, and everybody's like, oh, Jimmy's going to be traded. He's going to be cut, all those things. Whether those were your opinions or conjecture or you're following somebody else, it doesn't matter. Here we are. Now you reassess. A lot of, Twitter and the social media world, they're just going to keep digging in, and they're going to help create narratives that supported whatever their hypothesis was that they were wrong with, and that's okay. That's what they do. But assess the situation and move forward. You don't name this guy a captain. And what did John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan say from day one? Before they made the trade, they went to York in the ownership, and they said, look, we want to make this trade, but we want to keep Jimmy and his salary. And guess what they did? They did exactly what they said. And I know there's like conspiracy theorists that are like, oh, they didn't get a good trade offer. Well, they could have cut him and walked away. There was nothing there. Maybe they just mean what they say. Like at some point, do we just like allow reason to win the day with evidence and factual evidence? Back to, my students, they can explain whatever the hell they want. And this is kind of the way the AP test is graded. And they hear me say this 20 times a day. What is your proof? Through experience or examples, right? Like you have to explain, give me specific examples and evidence to prove this to be the thing. You can talk me through it all you want. Until you give me a specific, you don't get credit for it. You have to back it up. Well, here's our evidence. Jimmy G's a captain. Here's our evidence. Jimmy G's named starting quarterback. And some people, again, this is another thing that I think is a losing fight. This isn't even my notes. I didn't mean to do this. I'm sorry. But here's the thing. Why do you have to be anti-Jimmy and a 49ers fan? Where the hell did that come from? When was it pick a side day, and if you like one, you have to hate the other? Why can you not be the most excited person like I am for Trey Lance, and I can't wait? I've got 2 jerseys of his already. I'm a big nerd. I love it. Can't wait. Still go back and watch his film. But why can't you also have that and still say, man, Jimmy starting week 1 is going to be fun? And I'm excited about that. They're not mutually exclusive. I'm going off on a soapbox here, and I really do apologize. And I do want to say thank you guys for all of you guys coming here. But look, if they wear a 49ers jersey, even number 27, baby, who's back, by the way. He didn't even, I think he's been gone and back twice since we recorded, and we recorded on Monday. That's just what it is. I love it. But you can root for everybody because we're 49ers fans. We're not Trey Lance. We're not Jimmy Garoppolo fans, whatever. And there are players that kind of get on my nerves and, whatever. We don't think they belong, but they're here. So pull for those guys. And if you don't know how to do that, listen to Deebo, baby. Deebo, here he is. Real quick sound clip, but I like this one. Shout out to Juan Solis for cutting these up today while I was in practice, which is incredible. So probably this show wouldn't be happening right now if it weren't for Juan Solis. So thank you to him. This is Deebo talking about Jimmy.
I think for me, it started in OTAs. Jimmy came back with a little bit of more, a little bit more oomph to him, and it just carried over to camp. You can tell he's more fluently calling plays and just more energy in the huddle.
And so, okay, you're like, all right, well, he's going to say that about his quarterback. That's generic talk. They have to do that, whatever you want. But again, back to this thing. What are your examples and evidence? Have we seen that? We saw Deebo and we saw Jimmy in the preseason. And look at this. Here's one of the clips from our Patreon. Want to say shout out to the Patreon members and all their support for this show. Again, making things happen. But again, the proof is right here. Golly, man. So good. Just waiting for him to clear that backer. I love this route, man. This is interesting. So you got to post. It's almost like a middle flood concept. So he's going to run post and occupy the safety and the backside backer. And then he comes up underneath to clean up. He's getting way too much depth there, that backer. And so you're using both these 2 players to leverage him. And so you just throw it where he doesn't go. If he drops underneath, then you hit this corner route. Man, that's a nice concept. I like that. Great pass protection. Look at Jimmy just waiting. Boom. Throws with anticipation. Hits him in stride. A little high, a little behind him, but whenever he's that open, no issues. Pass protection, again, you say this every single play for the whole game, was just elite. Jake Brindle's in there. He was the 2nd highest rated player from Pro Football Focus. George Kittle 1, Jake Brindle 2. He has just been an absolute stud Golly, just manhandling that kid. Whew, nice. And so, again, they only got a couple drives in the entire preseason together, but whenever you see that sinking, we know Deebo as a gadget guy, right? Now, his rookie year, we saw a lot more down the field stuff, and if that can return, then this wide receiver group is going to be very formidable. You know, if they stay healthy, which hopefully that will take place. Now, real quick, Alan, just want to say thank you. He says, John, I'm going to be at the Seahawks game on October 3rd. What's your email address so I can find a little more information on the area? My email address is 49ersrushpodcast@gmail.com. Anybody that's got some extra kind of tailgate space or whatever, please throw that in the chat. Again, what is it that this 49ers Rush podcast is selling? Community and being a part of the faithful. That's what it is. Football knowledge through film, education, and becoming a better fan so that when you watch the 49ers, you have a better experience. That's what we're doing. We're not selling Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo and hating the others. That's not what this is, okay? We are educating. I'm a teacher. That's what I do. I coach. That's what I do. And so bringing that concept, again, through the film, and if you want to understand the film better, best place to do that, patreon.com. Go to patreon.com, 49ers Rush. Enter that in. Join us there. You get access to every game tape we've ever done. Over 200 hours. So you're wanting to learn some more about film, that's the place to go. Just like clips like that through the whole film, which I'm excited about. Now, let's back up. Let's talk about practice today. And let's talk about, again, we just talked about if Deebo can stay healthy. Well, listen to the full participants in practice today, which this could be the whole episode. I'm going to run through the names. And then I'm going to go back and talk about him and the significance of each one. Brandon Ayuk, full participant. Aaron Banks, full participant. Nick Bosa, full participant. D Ford, full participant. Greenlaw, full participant. And Verrett. That's a thick list. And that's huge. Now, there's going to be some negatives, and we'll get to that in a second. But, man, the fact that Ayuk is a full participant right now is great news because Deebo seems healthy. Ayuk's back out there. That's what we need. Now, the Aaron Banks one's interesting because I thought it was going to take him at least 2 more weeks. And the big reason why, I want to signify and highlight Aaron Banks, who has been bad. He's been worse than bad. He's been awful. This is the first positive news we have had from him since he's put on pads or shown up in camp. So that's why I don't want to skip over it. Aaron Banks has been awful. There's a chance he doesn't play this year. There's a chance it could be a complete bust. Definitely a chance. But any steps in the positive way, and the fact that he's back earlier than projected, that's good. So you take whatever you can with Aaron Banks, and you try to build on that as a team. You don't need him right now. The plan initially when they drafted him in the second round was, hey, Aaron Banks is going to start at right guard. Plug and play. I was guilty of that too. Plug and play. That's not happening. I don't think he's going to be starting for a long time outside of injury. But the fact that he's back, that's a positive, okay? That is a positive. Now, and again, we could play the whole, man, why didn't we draft so-and-so? And there's a lot of guys out there that, Asante Samuel Jr., he was on the board when we first were on the clock. We traded back 5 spots, and Asante Samuel Jr. went 1 spot ahead of us. You're right. We could have stayed at 2. We could have taken Asante Samuel. He'd be starting corner for us right now, which he was just named starting quarter for the Chargers. He's a hell of a player. We missed out on that. But it's not as simple as just saying, oh, we missed this. The draft sucks. Man, we did bad. No. If we don't do that trade back, you don't get Trey Sermon, who's been great. Okay? Also, you got to look at the draft as a whole. The fact that you got Diamador Lenore in the 5th. You got Jalen Moore in the 5th. You got Hufanga in the 5th. That's 3 hits. Put it in perspective. Yeah, we missed one probably. Still time. Don't write them off yet. But again, you put things in perspective, and I think it kind of tells the whole story there. Tommy, you better watch yourself with that anti-Longhorn talk, brother. Also, I did notice in the poll, Tommy, USC and Texas are 1 spot in between each other. They're right next to each other. Don't make me go back and tell that 2005 story at the Rose Bowl. You better watch yourself. Now, other players that are in there, Nick Bosa, D Ford. It's incredible to me. D Ford has had a setback. Nick Bosa has had a setback. They've made it through all of this, and it's looking good. I think they'll be on a little bit of a pitch count. Kyle Shanahan talked about this, how he doesn't like to do that. But look, I think Nick Bosa, again, I think he gets kind of close to 30 to 40. And I think D Ford kind of that 10 to 15, 10 to 20 if all is going well. That's all you need with our D-line. Greenlaw, glad he's back. Verrett, that's huge because Verrett, we have to have him because now there's another guy. I don't want to jump into this one just yet. There's another issue with the other corner, Mosley. We're going to talk about that in a second. But before we go to, focus on the other side of the coin, the injuries that are taking place, let me ask you this question. I don't know if I'm the only one. Please put this in the chat. I feel better about where we are now than I have any previous offseason with injuries. We have had terrible injuries for 7 straight years before Kyle Shanahan. Going into the season, it was awful. I feel like they have actually handled this offseason, training camp, preseason, very well. We got through this relatively unscathed. And the 2 biggest injuries we've had during this whole offseason was 1, a chair, just getting up out of a chair, Jeff Wilson, and 2, an Achilles, and that was like way back in, before, I think it was OTAs or something. I don't know. It was like voluntary workouts with Tarvarius Moore. And those, I'm not trying to dismiss those. Those are big. But good Lord, you put this into perspective with how we've been the last 7 years. I don't think we've ever been this healthy. And maybe I'm wrong. Put it in the chat. Yes, we've handled it well, or no, we're still missing it. Let me know what you think there, because I think that we've actually done really, really well. Matt, I appreciate the gift. He says, keep up the grind, John. Appreciate you. It is a grind. Just got off the practice field. Ate some mac and cheese with little hot dogs cut up. I'm an adult. And jumped on this podcast, which was, whatever. But thank you, Matt. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all the support from you guys. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Man, it's season time. We're doing 3 to 4 episodes every single week. Every week. Time permitting, which is rough. But we're going to get it done. Now, Kyle Shanahan was asked a similar question, and I want to talk about this a little bit because, again, this is kind of how I feel. The question was, how do you feel about the team overall heading into this season? And here's what the head coach had to say.
No, I feel great about our team. I mean, I think that's all you can ask for the chance for, how you work in the offseason, what your organization does for the team, putting the team together, that you just have a chance to compete and you got a chance to, and I don't think every team can say that. There's a number of teams that do, but that's what I'm grateful for this year. And I also know that means nothing, though. So I never go into a season just, you can feel confident, you can feel great, but you know what NFL seasons are like, and that changes every single day, and you know how long of a grind it is. So you try not to get too excited or too high on something or too low on something, because all it's going to matter is Sunday for 3 hours. And I know there's a lot of talk and a lot of things that go into all the time in between, but that's why it's our job to really not get caught up in that, because however you feel doesn't mean anything. It's what you put on tape on Sunday.
And so he kind of does a little bit of coach speak, dipping into the highs and the lows and say, well, we got to prove it and all that stuff, which that's who he is. That's every coach has to do that. Hashtag Bill Belichick, right? But again, you kind of take that away. Like, you got to feel really good about where we are this season. Now, there are some issues, as there are with every team in the salary cap era. Secondary's got some concerns. Outside of the top 2 wide receivers, we got some concerns. Right guard, how will Brunskill do whenever he's not playing Aaron Donald? He shuts down Aaron Donald every time he plays him. Those are some issues. But again, go back to the main issues that stopped this team from being successful since Kyle Shanahan showed up. Quarterback injury. Defense, even with all the injuries last year, still a top 10 defense. Okay? Quarterback injury has been the key. So, let's talk about Trey Lance. Let's do this. I put this poll up on Twitter, and I want everybody to throw this up in the chat. How many snaps do you think Trey Lance gets week 1? And if you think it's 0, put a 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. How many snaps on offense do you think Trey Lance gets week 1? I threw this up on Twitter, and that's how I asked it. And again, for Twitter, you can only have 4 options on the poll there. So I put no snaps whatsoever. 30% said he gets 0 snaps. I know the finger and all that stuff, and I put the poll out this morning before we had, video of Trey throwing and catching in practice. Seems back to normal. Zip on the ball, those things. But 30% said none. Next category is 1 to 7 snaps. That was 50%. That was the winner. 8 to 15 snaps, only 18%, and 16 plus snaps, 2%. So based off this morning, and again, Twitter, we all know, represents reality more clearly than anything else that's ever been created. I was almost made it through that little spiel without smiling, but whatever. So where do you see, how many snaps do you see for Trey Lance? That's what I want to know. Another gift from Ken. Thank you, man. He said, let's talk fantasy. Should I start Jimmy over Russell Wilson this week? I have a feeling Jimmy is going to ball out. Maybe I pick with my heart, though. Dude, as long as, and I'll say this, okay? I hate the Seahawks, and I don't like Russell Wilson, but you have to roll with Russell Wilson. If you feel that confident and you have those two quarterbacks, Ken, trade Russell Wilson. If you really want to roll with Jimmy, trade Russell Wilson and get an extra running back or whatever else. Package him with your RB2 and upgrade your RB2 to an RB1. That's what I would do. You start Russell Wilson. His wide receiver core, they're going to throw. Jimmy might ball out this week because they're playing, whatever. But the fact that we have such a run-heavy offense, the fact that Trey Lance might get red zone work, you start Russell Wilson. My heart's with you, man, but no, you got to start the cringiest guy ever, Russell Wilson. It's just what it is. Now, looking at some of these, answers, Tommy says 6 snaps. Michael says 0. Alex has got him at 3. I'm seeing 6, 0, 8 plus snaps from Melissa. NFL Express, what's up, Chuck? 5, 6, 12. Man, we're all over the place, but it does seem the majority are between 5 and kind of 15. Now, if that happens, that's going to be fun and entertaining. And, we traditionally when we're watching the game, right, we're like, all right, offense is on the field, the quarterback's out there. No, you're going to have to be sitting there with your popcorn or whatever watching, because I'm telling you right now, those announcers, I don't care who's announcing the game, I haven't looked it up yet, they're not going to know. And there's going to be some plays that happen, and you're going to hear, oh, actually, that wasn't even Jimmy Garoppolo. That was rookie. Like, that's what's going to happen there, right? I hate my fake guy announcer voice. I apologize for that. But you're going to have to pay close attention. So pay attention to the number 10 versus 5. It's just like when you're coaching. High school, you're got the binoculars on, you got to coach up in the thing, and he's just watching, okay, tight ends, okay, number 44, okay, we're at 12, they're at 21 personnel, Like, they're going to have to be doing that a little bit extra, because traditionally, right, offenses will, they'll change personnel, but the quarterback stays the same. And whenever they come out from, possession change or whatever, you're like, okay, 10's in at quarterback or 5's in at quarterback. Nope. Kyle Shanahan's not going to do that. I guarantee you that opposing team, the Detroit Lions, they're going to have a defensive coach watching one player, and that's Trey Lance. So they have a whole coach set aside just for watch number 5 for when he comes in the game. And he's going to have a button on the headset, red alert, red alert, red alert, Trey Lance. And everybody's going to be like, oh, Trey Lance is in. Okay, we have to do this. We have to check for this. All while communicating to the linebacker, whoever's got the green dot, hey, red alert, Trey Lance is in. So then he's going to have to communicate out. It's going to go quick, especially whenever they're switching from second to third down, and that's happening with the play call coming in. So just understand, it's going to be fun. Now, it could go bad, right? It could go bad. There's no doubt about that. This is a 21-year-old rookie. But all I can say is this: enjoy it. Sit back and just, man, you got tickets to the show. How fun is this going to be? I'm excited about it. I'm seeing the Dodgers just scored. That's no good. Now, since we're staying with that, let's go to some more negative news. The negatives. Who didn't play? Okay, and this is big. Emmanuel Mosley did not play again today with a knee. This would suggest he's probably not going to play. Now, Kyle Shanahan came out and said, yes, he can still start. He can still play Sunday. We need to see something on Thursday. That's generally the way it goes, because Thursday, so usually your practices are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, kind of walk through off, whatever. But you have to report to the NFL who practices Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Full, limited, all that kind of stuff. Usually Kyle Shanahan's thing is, unless it's a veteran, if they don't practice Thursday, they don't play. Now, Some of the veterans get special treatment, somebody like a Nick Bosa or George Kittle. If they could just suit up and go through things, even though they don't hit and stuff on Fridays, then they'll qualify. But this is huge because if Emmanuel Mosley doesn't go, who the hell's the other corner? You just paid the most money to Josh Norman, who's a vet, played in similar situations. You put him out there, he has no issues. He'll be able to do whatever it is you want. Number 27, do you put him out there? He's played out there. And again, if you look at the practice squad, who they protected, we'll talk about this a little more in a second. Cornerback D Virgin, that's who they protected. You get to protect 4 practice squad. They chose him. We haven't seen him. We haven't seen him out there. He was dealing with the hamstring. Now he's a full practice participant. It could be him, or could be the rookie Diamador Lenore. I don't think Ambry Thomas would be getting those reps just because he was kind of outplayed by the other rookie. My bet would be on Josh Norman just because that's where the money is, or number 27. If Mosley cannot go, those would be my 2 options that I think we would see. Probably Norman first. Then, we've got options. We've got bodies. How that's going to look, we'll see there. We're going to have to see what that looks like. Now, another person that missed, and this one's a big deal, but not as big, Javon Kinlaw, still out with the knee. The good news, if there is good news, Kinlaw's very key to this defense, but if he's not out there, we at least have a lot of depth. There's a lot of guys behind him. I think Kerr would start in his place, especially on rundowns. But again, Givens, he missed today too. So now you're starting to limit those times. Maurice Hurst, he's on IR, right? But you've still got a lot of guys that you can plug in there. You got Kentavious Street. You got DJ Jones. You got Steve Kerr. You could just keep going. There's a lot of guys that you could plug in there. And I'm missing guys, right? We kept 11 for a reason. So we've got guys that we can plug in there, and we still got our practice squad guys. So we're going to be all right there. Jalen Hurd, let's talk about Hurd. They were hoping Hurd would be what we all want. Those of us that watched the game kind of realized, yep, he's not that guy. And here's the head coach himself talking about Jalen Hurd.
Yeah, we felt pretty good going out of the Raiders game, just with how long he was able to play and get through it. But, it was hurting him 3 days later when we tried to practice again and gave him the weekend off, and it was hurting again Monday. And just coming in here by today, just realizing that, all right, we got to reevaluate this and shut him down for a little bit.
So he's going to be going to IR. They'll elevate somebody up. I'm telling you right now, Travis Benjamin will be elevated at the wide receiver position, and Travis Benjamin will be the first one back there returning punts. Again, listen to podcasts that are going to help you out. And if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. If they're punting from the back of their end zone, we've got a chance for a big return or something like that, then you could see Ayuk back there. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to go Travis Benjamin, then Mohamed Sanu, then Brandon Ayuk, unless there's a return possibility. That's what that's going to look like. So the weekend off and the fact that Jalen Hurts' knee is still hurting, he might not come off of IR, and this might have been the plan the entire time because now you have him for the whole year. So you can put him on IR. No other team can take him. Now, he counted for our 53. We can still get Travis Benjamin back, and you just sit him there until he can go, a couple days with running and planting and everything being fine. So, yeah, we'll see. But again, I don't think we're going to be mentioning Jalen Hurd for a long time on this podcast, unfortunately. And that hurts. It breaks my heart, but it's what it is. All right, real quick word from our sponsors, MyBookie. The NFL season is about to kick off, and that means the return of the 49ers to Levi's Stadium as they set out to bring home Super Bowl number 6, baby. With tons of questions circling the minds of the faithful, here's the deal. MyBookie is here to help us make some serious cash to go along with the Niners' upcoming season. And MyBookie, you can bet on everything in the NFL. From week 1 all the way up to Super Bowl 56, try your hand out on several future wagers. Here we go. You put this in before the season starts. Trey Lance, if you think he's starting early, his offensive rookie of the year odds plus 650. Who's going to take home the MVP? You got Patrick Mahomes plus 350 odds. Aaron Rodgers, last year's MVP, plus 800. And heck, you can even bet on the 49ers to go all the way to the Super Bowl and win it all, plus 1,400 odds. Now, why sit around? Go to mybookie.ag and place your first wager today. On top of that, I'm going to sweeten the pot for you. If you use our promo code 49ERS49ers when you sign up, get an extra $1,000 in bonus money depending on how much you deposit. That's right, $1,000 in bonus money. Head to mybookie.ag today and start winning today. Bet anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. And again, I do want to say that free bet is still up on MyBookie. Here's how you get to it. Basically, it's for Thursday night. So depending on when you're listening to this, you want free $23. We're the podcast that pays you for free. We tripled our bet income, our bet pool that we started with last year. But anyway, this is a free bet right now. If 1 point is scored in the Thursday night matchup of the Bucks versus the Cowboys, you win your bet. It's a $25 maximum bet. All you do is head to MyBookie, click on featured, click on odds boost sell, NFL lock of the season, and that's just a free bet that's there. Again, that's free money, man. That's free money. That's all I'm saying. Also, I posted all of my season-long bets over on our Patreon account. Again, if you haven't joined us, that supports the podcast better than anything. Gives you the best NFL content for any team. I don't know anybody else that does this for any team like we do it over there. So much time and energy goes there. But I think it's worth it. And again, if you go over there and you check it out and you sign up for a subscription, you don't like it, I give you all your money back, 100% guaranteed. That's for you guys. So please head over there if you want those bets. Now let's talk about the practice squad and kind of roster rules. Because last year with COVID, they kind of went hyper flexed, which is great because now you have more people in the NFL. Anytime you got more people in the NFL, that's a great thing, not a bad thing. Getting that money to the people is always good. Here, I'll tell you right now, one of my favorite things in the world is seeing somebody else get paid. Obviously, I want to get paid, but understand this. The pie, it is not just because somebody else is eating doesn't mean I don't eat. That's not how it is. Anybody's eating, man, I'm happy. That's just the way that it is. So I love seeing people get paid. That is incredible with the NFL sports, period. I love it. A lot of people get pissed off whenever they see somebody sign like this multi-million-dollar contract and be like, man, that's BS. All they do is throw a ball. Like, no, I'm a teacher. And I'm like, yeah, pay that man. That's a good thing. Once you kind of get that jealous mindset out of your worldview and your perspective, man, I promise you're going to enjoy life a lot more because you can find joy in other people being successful. Like, I'm just kind of big on that. Anyway, back to this practice squad because now the practice squad, it was 10, then it was 12, now it's 16. And on top of that, you get to promote 2 players every single week to the active roster. So we have our 53-man roster. We have 53 players currently. You get to promote 2 practice squad players each week, right? So now it jumps to 55. And then after that game, they bump back down. Now, if let's say we promote Travis Benjamin, okay, which we will promote Travis Benjamin this week. He's practice squad. We promote him to the active roster. He returns 2 punts for touchdown. Some other team could claim him. Let's just say the Chargers for whatever reason. I don't know why. I used to play for him. Chargers put in a claim for Travis Benjamin. Because he's on our practice squad and we elevated him, we now get first refusal. So we could say, no Chargers, he's going to go to our active roster. Or he could say, no, I don't want to go play for the Chargers. I would rather stay on the practice squad for the 49ers. He's allowed to deny that. So that's all in there, right? There's like a poker aspect and all this kind of stuff and a bidding war. All that stuff kind of goes into that. But what you're allowed to do is protect 4 players a week, but you can't keep protecting the same players. We chose to protect cornerback D Virgin, which is telling because, man, is he one of those guys that could slip into the starting lineup if Emmanuel Mosley doesn't go? I don't know. That's a wild card. We don't have film on him. We don't have tape on him. We don't have that. So that's a big question mark. Next up, Nate Sudfeld. I think that he will be protected or called up almost every single week, especially with the COVID rules and all that stuff. That's just one of those things. And Travis Benjamin. I feel like I've talked about Travis Benjamin as much as anybody on this podcast. But that's there. And I think, again, he's going to be returning punts. He'll be that number 6 wide receiver. He goes from the slot. That's there as well. Oh, I love this. Rolls Royce. I think somebody asked if I got their email. I just checked the email for the 49ers Rush podcast at gmail.com. I didn't get anything since we've been recording. So again, that's 49ers Rush podcast at gmail.com. I want to be honest with you. The best way to reach me is Twitter, okay? At JL_Chapman. My DMs are always open. That's the best way to get there. So anyway, if you want to reach out for me, I don't know what it was you were doing, Rolls, but big fan. Appreciate you all the support. So I want to make sure we make that work. Now, oh, I love this. He says, whenever I meet up with John in LA, we're getting drunk. So speaking of that, our road trip, the 49ers Rush road trip, gosh, we're doing 3 towns. Here we go. Here's the information. Man, come hang out with us. Man, party with the faithful. We've got such an awesome lineup, so many giveaways. It's going to be a blast. So excited, guys. We have worked so hard for this, and all the details are finally finished and coming together. The 49ers Rush road trip for our Philly game, which is going to be week 2. So that's Saturday, September 18th, the night before the game. We are going to be meeting up at the Drinkers Pub, which I freaking love it. I mean, if you've ever been to Philly, or again, shout out to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the pub is the heart of Philadelphia. It's just what it is. So we have, this place is awesome. I've been there before. It's only a few short blocks away from our hotel. We're staying at the awesome Warwick Hotel in Rittenhouse Square. Come join us. We have the second floor all to ourselves. We've got pool tables. We got multiple TVs for college football on. We've got giveaways, raffles. We have our own bar service and food service. It's going to be an absolute blast. Hang out, drink, but more importantly, come for the community. It's going to be 49ers fans flying in from all over the place, from 6:30 to 9:30. If you want to go party out afterwards, that's cool. But again, we're going to be hanging out there for a long time. So head over to 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Click on Philly. This is week 2, okay? And buy your tickets there. They're $25, and everything that we bring in through the website, it's going back to giveaways. I've bought multiple jerseys, giveaways, autographed memorabilia. So whenever you come in, you're going to get raffle tickets, all those things. We're going to be doing trivia, lots of stuff, lots of ways just to have a blast with people that you want to hang out with. So head over there. Again, this is the Drinkers Pub Saturday, and we're staying at the Warwick Hotel. By the way, we still have discount rate available for hotels at the Warwick Hotel in Rittenhouse Square. It's one of the best historic hotels in Philly, and you get to save about $50 a night if you go over there and book it. So if you haven't got tickets yet, you need to get over there. 49ersrushroadtrip.com. Again, this is for week 2. Let's go, baby. Have some fun with us. Dude, I love it, man. And I'm seeing the chat light up with everybody talking about going to games. Man, I'm excited. You know, we've got week 2 Philly, right? For Halloween, when they play Chicago, we have a 49ers Irish pub bar, Gracie O'Malley's in Wicker Park. We're closing that thing down. It's just going to be nothing but 49ers fans. So we're going to be partying there, and it's going to be an absolute blast. Now, whenever you go to L.A., holy freaking cow, we're going to be over on Hermosa Beach. We're going to be on Hermosa Beach. I can't wait. We're staying right on the beach itself, and the hotel, here's what I negotiated for the Los Angeles thing. You go to 49ersrushroadtrip.com. We got one, I got the resort fee eliminated. They knocked off about $45 a night, and they gave us free breakfast. So that's what we get if you book with us. So head over there. All you do, you see the phone number. You can, it's all the information is there. Come party with us, man. We're going to have a great time. Shot J, he says, come out up here. Home games, brother. Let's go. Well, Shot J, I got some good news. Found out one of my wife's cousins getting married in Santa Clara, and the wedding is the night before the Vikings game. So I am parlaying with my wife. We're negotiating. It's hard. We're doing the wedding. We're going to go a couple days early, spend time with her family, as long as I get to go to the Vikings game. So I will be available, man. So if you guys are going to, that's right at the end of Thanksgiving. If you're doing that Vikings game, you got some extra tickets, or you want somebody to party at the tailgate, hit us up. I haven't bought tickets yet. I want to, but I want it to be, I want to be with community and stuff. So you let me know if you got a couple extra tickets. Definitely, I'll pay for them. Not saying that. I'm not looking for handouts or anything. But anyway, so yeah, you want to crash that wedding? Let's go, man. I'm going to leave out that family business. Anyway, you guys are the absolute best. I'm excited, man. Now, our next episode, I've been diving into the film of the Detroit Lions, what we have of them in the preseason, and I'm filling out all of the kind of, what it is, the keys to the game, cutting up some clips, things like that, what it is I'm looking for, matchups to pay attention to, players to exploit. That's our next episode. That's our scouting report episode, where I literally do the exact same thing that I do whenever I coach another team's film. pay attention to, best players, all that stuff, schemes, tendencies, blitz packages, stuff like that. So that's next episode. So stay tuned for that. Hoping to have that out Friday. If worst comes to worst, I'll get it done Saturday, but I'm hoping to get that out Friday for you guys. You are the absolute best. And again, a lot of people talking about reaching out. Please do so. 49ers Rush Podcast at gmail.com or on Twitter at JL_Chapman. Appreciate you guys. You are the absolute best. And as always, stay strong, faithful.